I mean, we're doing it, so here we are. Whether or not I'm doing it right is irrelevant, I suppose. Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and otherwise, my name is AJ. I am the Friendly Hermit, and today we're doing something different. This is a new series, talking out my... I don't know. We'll come up. We're workshopping. We'll figure it out at some point. But I thought I'd combine two of my favorite things, talking about video games and sitting in nature. Does this count as a thing? It's a little bit, sort of counts. But no script, no planning. Basically, I just don't have a lot of time to be a good YouTuber. And so I suppose I was inspired a little bit by Jacob Jones. Have you heard of this kid? Good kid. Good kid. I like him. But he doesn't seem to have much of a plan. That's the worst thing I'll say of him. He shows up. He does the work, puts the work in, and puts out a video. Tends to review things that we're not going to talk about on this channel. However, the premise remains the same. I got to get outside. It's medicine for me, personally. Just freeform, just, stream of consciousness. With a little bit of a twist, we're going to talk about video games and other things, nerd stuff. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is just a test run, realistically. It's something I can do, Like I said, I don't have a lot of time, but this is something feasible. If I don't have to edit a crazy amount, this is something I can do. And there's a trail over there, and every time it's still nice enough that people are going to be walking by every now and again. There might even be someone walking over there at some point, but it's just funny when they appear over here and they see a guy just talking to a camera. Yeah, I get the dirtiest looks. It's 2025. People have YouTube channels, okay? People go outside and they sit in chairs in public areas. So, in spirit of Jacob Jones. All right, so today I'm sitting in a public park at 2 p.m. on a Monday afternoon. And today we're going to do a little day drinking. No complaints on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? So, today, what are we talking about? Metroid Prime 4. What's it called? I don't remember. That's how memorable. Let me just say this. This is not going to be... you're going to hate me. Just remember, everyone's got an opinion. And opinions, they're like buttholes. That'll be like a theme moving forward. Opinions are like buttholes. Everyone's got one. And some of them are worse than others. And I'm using the word worse because I'm going to try not to swear. Swear words are bad. You can do a lot of things on the internet, but cursing? YouTube don't like that. So, Metroid Prime 4. Here's the thing. So I've been waiting a long time for this game. Has it been 20 years? Way too long. We've been waiting way too long for this game. And I understand it's a little bit of a niche audience. Not everyone is, super excited about the series like they are with, Mario Kart and whatever else. Mario games, Pokemon games, all these have this like kind of universal appeal. Metroid is more of a niche audience, and partially I wonder, and this is just me talking out my ace once more. I wonder to what degree this is why Nintendo treats this, like, in my opinion, one of their A, it's a flagship franchise, and B, it's so good. Like, it's so good. I mean, at least it used to be. And so I wonder, because it's such a niche series now, it's a little more mainstream, but it's not pulling in numbers like Pokemon, the highest grossing franchise of all time. Mario, obviously, slap them on the box and you're going to sell that box a million times. Metroid, unfortunately, the Metroid series doesn't get that same love. In fact, a lot of the time I feel like it's either just, surprisingly not the most set aside, like Star Fox. What happened to that guy, But Metroid doesn't get as much love as it should. And I was watching the trailer. I believe there might be a couple of them now. I'm disappointed. And I know this is silly. The game's not out. It's just an opinion. Again, opinion butthole, right? Talking out my ace. Also, side note, Ace, my name is AJ AC. Talking out my ace. AC, Ace. Little side note. Yeah, Metroid doesn't get as much love, probably because it doesn't make as much money. But we've waited nearly 20 years, I think, for Metroid Prime 4. Maybe it's not 20 years. Maybe that's a crazy number I'm throwing out there. I'll put the number on the screen at some point. But this is my problem. I'm disappointed with the trailer, and this is why. Obviously, I haven't played the game. I don't think I need to play the game to have an opinion. But the anticipation for the people that want this game is so high. We're putting this unattainable expectation, right, onto this game and what we expect it to be. I'm seeing a lot of they're just diverging from what Metroid is supposed to be, what makes it special in the first place. The reason this series has such an impact, we go all the way back. We have to go all the way back. To my understanding, it was a launch title on the SNES in like 95, 94? Super Metroid, in my opinion, it might be one of the best video games, top 10 video game of all time. And I don't think, I think people that know video games and they've been paying attention to the gaming industry for as long as I have, I think they'll agree with me, at least in part, top 20 video game of all time, at the very least. It is so remarkably good, Super Metroid. And we're going to talk about why, and then compare it to what we see in the Metroid Prime 4 trailer. Super Metroid originally was inspired by the Alien films. That trilogy. Hence why you have the character Ridley, the purple dragony demon-looking alien thing. It was inspired by Alien. And the reason these Alien films are so popular and so impactful and so memorable, at least in the first film, what you have is science fiction gold, first of all, but horror gold. But what's so horrifying? Obviously, the creatures, the aliens, are horrifying. But that's not really what made it so special in the first place. It was the atmosphere that these I want to say films, but more specifically, like this spaceship. You're on this spaceship, right? The atmosphere on this ship is tense, it is claustrophobic, and it is very lonely. There's always a sense of, I don't know what's around the corner. It's a survival film just as much as it is a, thriller, horror, science fiction film, right? It is a survival in space, desolate, just existential horror that's created. And in fact, what did this right in terms of the Metroid series, obviously Super Metroid, we're going to get back to that, but existential dread, this cosmic horror. Dread. What did we get a few years back? Metroid Dread. And that was a beautiful return to form, a great game. That was a great game on the Nintendo Switch. Personally, I would argue it was one of the best titles on the Switch. But again, little bit of a, like, did it do well? I don't know. I don't remember people talking about it as much as, like, you know, just the old school gamers like me and other people that are, you know, familiar with the series and fans of Metroid, generally speaking, particularly the 2D side-scrolling ones, which before that, wasn't it like the last one was on Game Boy Advance or something? So it's been, even Dread, when that came out, the last Metroid in that style was, you know, we had to wait 15 years or whatever it was. I might actually have footage of a live stream that I did. Maybe I'll just tie that in here at some point for fun.
This one, I think, is more influenced by Red Planet. When you see the clips, they're not even trying to hide the plagiarism.
Cute, huh?
Not really.
The robot in the film, Red Planet, is called Amy. And the robots in this game are called Emmy. It's the same thing. It looks the same. Oh god, oh god, oh god. What do I do? Oh god! Jump away! Fire! Ah! Ah! No!
No! But that's a great game. And it was a return to form. Although I'm not a fan of necessarily of these Emmy things, these robots, it still kind of nailed what the series was known for and why the series was so impactful, why it's so beloved, is that sense of loneliness, that isolation, this claustrophobia, and hence the name Dread. Super Metroid did this very well. It builds an atmosphere on this planet, Zebes? I can't remember which planet they go to, but Samus is alone. I don't remember if there's another single NPC in that game, aside from enemies. Of course, Ridley is one of them. You might see some scientists in the intro, but they all die. This is bold for Nintendo. At the time, you know, how do you successfully create horror and slap a T for teen on that game, or whatever rating? I'm going to have to check the rating on it, but Nintendo, that was a masterful and frankly just a talented way to produce a game in that genre, a horror game, a survival thriller type of spooky game. It's not even spooky. That's the wrong word, because it's not. It's dreadful. It evokes a sense of fear. Genuinely playing that game on Super Nintendo. I can't remember the names of these bosses, but if you've played the game, you might recall that very iconic, that boss that comes out of the lava as just a skeleton after you've defeated it, you know? Oh my God. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. Like, how was Nintendo able at that time to create that sense of dread inspired by the Alien films and still market it as a game for kids, right? Really just very tactful and skillful deployment of the content, right? And what's so memorable is that sense of, you know, as a kid, this is something that you weren't expecting, right? You would go in probably with very little understanding. You know the basics. Maybe you've seen some things in there wouldn't have been internet at the time, but like Nintendo Power, maybe you saw screenshots. But yeah, it was terrifying, without literally being a horror genre game, right? And so let's now jump into Metroid Prime 4, what we see in the trailer. Well, it's not isolated anymore. You have this giant open world, apparently, where you can ride around on a motorcycle. Action oriented, by the way. This bike does flips and stuff. You could like spin it to do attacks as things are swooping in. Like, okay, it looks cool, but it doesn't look like Metroid. It certainly takes away from what the series was meant to be. Adding something new, sure, fine. But when you're taking away the core kind of meat and potatoes, like, this is what it is. This is what it's meant to be, you know? You're taking that away in lieu of, I don't know, probably you're trying to make a game that's more appealing to a broader audience. Psychic powers? Mm-mm. Psychic powers. Okay. I don't hate the idea, but I just go like, I don't know, why? You have an entire robot suit. Everything has always been tech. I mean, some of it's been like biological tech, you know, but tech regardless, right? I guess Samus has had powers in the past, but something about the psychic thing makes me go like, all right, that's an odd direction. But what we've seen with this, unless there's like, I'm missing something, there must be more. Eventually we're going to see, you know, when the game is finally dropped, we'll see all of the different things Samus can do with her psychic powers. But as it stands, she can, one of the cool things, control, like she can charge up and shoot, you know, her energy blast, and then control, using her psychic powers, control where the blast goes. All right, so what was it called in Perfect Dark? The Slayer? Do you remember that rocket launcher in Perfect Dark? You could control remotely where the rockets go. Okay, so it's a fun idea, but it's not a new idea. All right, so there's that. She can also use it to cling to walls. Specific walls, presumably. She had a chain, like, you know, like the hook shot in Legend of Zelda. Samus had that already. You know, it's whatever the equivalent, I can't remember, a chain thing. She had one. So this is not new to Samus at all. You're just putting a different skin on the ability she could already do. We would swing from, you know, different things over and over and over, right? To cross like paths, like gaps that you couldn't otherwise get across. So this is not new. I wonder if at some point we'll get the super speed again from Super Metroid. I wonder if we'll get, I believe Samus had an ability to fly at one point. It was more of like a rocket. You could just shoot directly up. I can't recall specifically. Don't quote me on that one, but I wonder if we'll get something like that. But my point stands. From what we've seen, the psychic powers seem uninspired. They just seem like we've done it before in different ways. We're just calling it something else now. So that's a little disappointing, in my opinion. Motorcycles, I hate that thing. Do not let me, as Samus, on the surface of a planet where I can see into the horizon. Now, okay, yes, I'm isolated, but I'm not claustrophobic anymore. I can see what's around the corner because I can see everything. It's not dark, it's very bright, very colorful. You know, the color palette in this game, they've opted for a kind of more vibrant and Yeah, it's just they killed the mood is what they did here. And you know what? The game is probably great. It's probably going to be so much fun. But it's also going to feel different, and that's where I'm complaining. It's just going to feel different. And honestly, I can't help but feel like I was actually considering, like, what happened to Nintendo? Because the release of the Switch 2, I was priced out day one. Once they said this is how much games are moving forward, this is how much the console is. Sorry, Nintendo, I'm out. Like, I can't, even if I wanted to purchase a Switch 2, I couldn't afford it. And even if I could afford it, I can't. Like, yeah, makes me feel dirty. Giving my money, that much money, to a company that does not care anymore. And this is why they don't care anymore. And I saw a video about it, actually, because I was wondering, I was also curious, what happened to Nintendo? They used to care, seemingly they used to care about the quality of their products, their games, and the spirit of the game itself. They cared about video games as games, fun. They wanted them to be good. And that's not to say that their games aren't good anymore. It's just that there's a little kernel of the corporate world now, and it's true, because I believe is it Satoru Iwata? Was that the president's name? Forgive me if I'm going to butcher the name, so forgive me. So Iwata, the old president, Nintendo of Japan's president, I think his name was Iwata, Satoru Iwata, something like this. Forgive me, I'm probably butchering it. He passed away, but he was a gamer first. He was somebody on record many times. We see videos of him, particularly back in the day with the Wii and the, I believe slightly before, but he really did change the course of Nintendo in a positive way, because he himself was a gamer, and he is on record talking about his love of video games. And when he passed away, the presidency was shifted to a businessman, I believe a couple of businessmen. Just random, like, what were they before? Like, financial guys, just bankers, who knows what they were. But businessmen is what they were. Have they played video games before? I think there's, I'm spreading rumors now, but I think they literally haven't. Like, they've gone on record saying they don't play video games, but they're going to make Nintendo money, which is fine. But it was at that point where we started seeing all of these bad, or not bad, but anti-consumer decisions being made by Nintendo. And it's just a shame. And I'm wondering to what degree the Metroid series is feeling the brunt of that transition from gamers who love games making those games to businessmen thinking about the bottom line. I don't know. But for all sakes and purposes, that's going to be the end of the conversation here today. I definitely bored you, but thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I crazy? Am I wild to suggest that maybe this is an odd direction for the Metroid series to go? Am I crazy for pointing the finger at Nintendo's anti-consumer business practices in the recent years? I don't know, but I would love to know what you think. And maybe we'll try this again. We'll hang out outside. We got to get outside, man. We got to get outside. Even if we're talking about nerdy video games and things like this, you got to get outside. So thanks for watching. My name is AJ. I am the Friendly Hermit. And this was Talking Out My Ace. And always remember, opinions are like buttholes. Everyone's got one. Some are just poopier than others. Not allowed to swear. All right. See y'all next time. Dinker and sinker. Uh-oh, my video might have not recorded.